Have you ever stopped mid-chew and asked yourself, why am I eating cereal for breakfast? Like seriously, why cold milk and dry crunchy flakes first thing in the morning? It feels so normal now. Open a box, pour it out, splash of milk, maybe a banana on top if you're feeling fancy. But what if I told you cereal wasn't always a thing? In fact, the idea of eating cold cereal for breakfast was once considered radical. Even weird. What's your go-to breakfast? Comment below, are you team cereal, pancakes, or leftover pizza? And have you ever wondered, who decided breakfast should be sweet and crunchy, instead of, say, steak and eggs? Well, buckle up, because we're going back to the late 1800s. Back to a place that might surprise you, a sanitarium. Yes, a health spa. Specifically, the Battle Creek Sanitarium in Michigan, run by a man named Dr. John Harvey Kellogg. Yup, that Kellogg. And here comes your rehook. The story of cereal isn't just about breakfast, it's about marketing, religion, bowel movements, and moral control. And yes, this is one of those weird food facts you never knew you needed. Let me explain. Dr. Kellogg wasn't just a doctor. He was also a Seventh-day Adventist, deeply obsessed with clean living, and even more obsessed with what came out of your body than what went into it. He believed that many human ailments, physical, mental, and spiritual, came from poor digestion and stimulation. Which, in his mind, included spicy food, meat, and even sexual thoughts. So, naturally, he created a diet that was bland, fiber-rich, and non-stimulating. Enter, the original breakfast cereal, a dry, flavorless wheat biscuit meant to regulate the bowels and reduce sinful urges. Yes, seriously. But here's where it gets interesting. His brother, Will Kellogg, who helped run the sanitarium's kitchen, had a very different vision. He saw potential. Not just for health, but for business. And that difference in vision, it would change the breakfast habits of millions of Americans. Have you ever had a sibling rivalry that got real? Comment if you've ever had a moment where you and a sibling saw the same thing, completely differently. Will Kellogg wanted to mass-produce the cereal flakes they were serving to patients. So he started the Kellogg Company, and in doing so, sparked the modern breakfast cereal industry. Now, here's the genius part, Will didn't just sell cereal. He sold a lifestyle. Through bright packaging, fun mascots, and relentless advertising, he turned what was once a bland health product into a joyful, family-friendly morning ritual. A perfect example of weird food facts that somehow became mainstream. So we left off with Will Kellogg turning his brother's bland bowel biscuit into a business. But cereal's rise to breakfast royalty? That didn't happen overnight. It took creativity, timing, and some truly wild marketing moves. Let's rewind a little. In the early 1900s, breakfast in America looked totally different. Most people ate hearty, hot meals, leftover meat, eggs, porridge, even beer. That's right, breakfast beer was a thing. So convincing people to switch from steak and suds to cornflakes, that was a challenge. But Will Kellogg was clever. He didn't just sell cornflakes. He sold cleanliness, discipline, modernity. And during a time when America was shifting from farms to factories, that message landed hard. He used something revolutionary, mass advertising. Bright boxes. Happy children. Health claims, some exaggerated, some completely made up. And let's not forget, the free toy in the box. Side note, did you ever beg your parents to buy a cereal just for the toy inside? Be honest, tell me which one it was in the comments. Then came Post, the other cereal giant, founded by another former Battle Creek patient, C.W. Post. Post was like the Pepsi to Kellogg's Coke. He took the idea of health cereal and ran with it, straight into a branding battlefield. Post invented Grape Nuts, a cereal that didn't contain grapes or nuts. Classic weird food facts, right? But hey, it sold. What mattered was the image, strength, nutrition, energy. That's when breakfast turned from food into full-blown identity. Cereal wasn't just something to eat, it was a symbol. A wholesome American morning. A shortcut to health and happiness. And all of that, packaged in a cardboard box with a cartoon tiger. Re-hook, think about it, cereal companies weren't just changing what people ate. They were reshaping how Americans thought about mornings, family, and health. In the 50s and 60s, it got more intense. Saturday morning cartoons became golden ad space. Brands targeted children directly, Tony the Tiger, Snap, Crackle and Pop, Captain Crunch, all worked overtime as breakfast salesmen. And then came sugar. Lots of it. The health food had now become candy in disguise, Fruit Loops, Cocoa Puffs, Cookie Crisp, all hiding behind the smile of animated mascots. Another classic case in the long list of weird food facts that shaped America. What's the most ridiculous cereal you ever ate as a kid? Share below, let's make a fun thread. So we've seen how cereal rose from a hospital meal to a marketing empire. But like every great American product, it eventually faced a reckoning. By the 1980s and 90s, a new generation of parents and scientists started asking, wait, is this actually good for us? Like, all this sugar, all these artificial colors. Is Tony the Tiger really helping my kid get strong? That's when cereal had its first real identity crisis. Nutritionists rolled their eyes at part of a balanced breakfast claim slapped on sugar bombs with marshmallows. Even Kellogg's, once the symbol of health, was now under scrutiny for selling dessert in disguise. Real talk, did your parents ever ban certain cereals from the house? Let's build the forbidden list in the comments. Re-hook, the cereal meant to reduce sinful urges, was now a rainbow-colored, chocolate-flavored sugar rush. But instead of disappearing, cereal adapted. New trends brought high fiber, low sugar, keto, gluten-free, all with the same marketing sparkle. And nostalgia played a role too, vintage boxes, retro mascots, childhood jingles. Memory cells. Today, Americans are eating less cereal than before, but the legacy is strong. Every grocery aisle, every childhood memory, carries the imprint of this billion-dollar story. And honestly, that's what makes it one of the most fascinating weird food facts in American culture. So what does breakfast mean to you? Habit? Comfort? Speed? Tell your story. If you enjoyed this, hit that follow button. We've got more quirky, crunchy, culture-packed stories coming your way. Thank you for tuning in till the end. Whether you're walking, commuting, or having breakfast, I appreciate you. And next time you pour cereal into your bowl, just remember. Behind every flake, there's a fable.